In a world of knights, catapults, and literal magic death beams from the sky, the most powerful force on the planet is this peasant and 10,000 of his closest friends. Oh my god, that's so many. Today in Diplomacy is Not an Option, I'm being sponsored to unite these roving hordes of poor people and finally end the tyranny of the IRS. We'll be playing in the brand new campaign mode that features over 100 hours of content, 25 different missions, and 6 different endings across 3 unique campaign paths. And if you want to try out the campaign for yourself, then you can check out Diplomacy is Not an Option's full 1.0 release using my link in the description and pinned comment below. We start as a vassal underneath King Ferdinand the Fat. What the game calls him, I don't know. Basically, we need to start by fighting off the peasants because they're just angry at anyone who's connected to royalty. We'll have our chance to support them later when we meet up with Scott the Bloody. But for now, we do need to try to survive the peasant horde. I'm not gonna lie, I did genuinely have to retry a couple of times, even in the very first campaign, just to really get a hang of the rhythm of this game. Basically, you collect wood, collect stone, build up houses, get some food, build up your army, build up your fortifications, and engage in the world's most anxious try not to die challenge. And play Bloons Tower Defense with the lives of peasants. My first try, I felt like I was actually doing pretty good. I built up my city, constructed some fortifications, basically just doing everything that I knew from the tutorial. And even though I felt like I was doing pretty good in holding things together, like it's my first time playing, so imagine the look on my face when suddenly 50 million peasants were able to break through all of my defenses. Whoops. Peasant swarm to death. Blah, 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 blah. Definitely didn't lose on the first mission. Nope, nope. Honestly, I guess it's a good sign since it kind of forces you to learn how to play the game better. My silly brain prevented me from thinking to use incredibly complicated game mechanics, like mining stone and the research menu. So my second run went a lot better. I had done pretty good, I thought at the time, with a pretty difficult challenge. Oh, my poor sweet innocent Kara. What she didn't know at the time. How hard this game gets later on. I thought I had some pretty good fortifications along with more homes and filling out my buildings and industry more. Plus I had a bigger army and I even cleared out some of the tents and camps around the area to get some bonus materials. And I even saved up to use the ultimate medieval weapon, the historically accurate death beam from the sky. Mwahahaha. And then they broke through the walls and beat me to death with a golden chalice anyways. Dude, I thought I was doing good. Oh no. Anyways, after a good solid laugh, har har har, and a brand new bald spot on my forehead, I reloaded the save and figured out where I went wrong. So all's well that ends well. Afterwards, you get to hear some more backstory about the struggle, and you can either support the peasant rebellion led by Scott the Bloody, or you can side with the king and beat down the peasants. Of course, I made the amazing decision to pick the difficult one and to try it on hardcore. No taxes or something, which all sounds great, but let me tell you that they were not lying about it being way more difficult. Not only do you fight troops that are more heavily armored and harder to take out with more horses and more catapults, but your starting units are these dorks. Some of their weapons are science, like you're playing Team Fortress 2 again.
But of course.
First thing I did was build up my industry, getting some wood and stone production up immediately. They're basically like the most important thing that you need to get right at the start. And then I took my group of peasants into the woods to start clearing out some of the camps. I found out from the first mission that it's especially good if you can do this at the start, since you can get a bunch of resources in these carts to kickstart all of your other industries. And it even gives you a few days supply of food. And breaking down these tents gives you magic crystals too, that you use to cast spells like demon soldiers. You only get them for a couple of minutes, but like they're actually pretty strong. And later on, meteors, the most powerful peasants of all time. Oh my god. But I realized that maybe I was making a mistake by sending out my peasants to go fight the king's army. Like, I didn't even build up a real army at this point, and I was still just trying to collect these resources and fight back literal catapults and heavily armored knights and other troops. Like, do you know how long it takes to beat up an armored soldier when all you have is a big wooden stick? Bonk. And if the game didn't make you upset before, oh my god, no, not big guy. No. But here's what I learned from my past games. First, you really want to prioritize getting wood quickly, and then you want to use that to build more houses and get more people as soon as you can. And then you want to get stone, get more builders, level up your castle, and get a good industrial base going. With farms and a marketplace, you basically want to balance it between having enough of a military to survive, but then growing the rest of your city as quickly as you can. I thought I was actually doing pretty good in this game. Kind of a big army, a lot of troops, some decent defenses surrounding our fortress, got farms, plenty of food, and I managed to make it all the way to the final wave. But then knights poured in from every direction. Dude, how many of there are you? How am I even supposed to defend against this many soldiers? Oh my god, what? Okay, that's it. It's over. No, my peasant uprising. Okay, so yeah, I was close, but I did mess up a lot here. I didn't make my walls out of stone, didn't upgrade my buildings enough, I didn't get the market quickly enough. I still could have built up my population quicker, and I think I might have completely forgotten to research. Like, I'm so bad at remembering to do it. So I tried again. I started by running off and getting some resources right at the start with my horse boy, just running away before they could do anything about it. And I built up my base and my population way more quickly, getting to stone and iron, walls and farms and upgraded buildings literally days earlier. And even on hardcore, mission 2 is actually pretty survivable as long as I did that. Oh my god, look at these catapults. Dude, I need to build way more of these. I need to stop being so annoying. And by the time the last wave came around, meteors. Just like the dinosaurs. 1660 enemies killed. That's not bad. Afterwards, we get told that that wave of enemies we fought was actually just a small detachment of the king's forces. To avoid getting completely doom-stacked, we had to flee into the woods, which actually makes campaign mission 3 really different. You kind of gotta like individually make your way through these camps one by one. It was made way easier by using my magic gems, so it actually really wasn't that difficult just to make it to the other side. Then we ended up on the coast of the continent, and we had to build up a fleet and evacuate before we got stream sniped. And our mission became build up a fleet and sail away. This mission's actually kind of insane, just to juggle everything that you need to think of. You need to build up 4 ships, a bunch of different unit types, all while trying to fight off the waves of enemies coming to attack you. Waves of the king's troops trying to kill you. So it's really hard to know if you should prioritize building up your base, your defenses, or just rushing getting the ships as much as you can. I figured getting our base set up as early and quickly as possible, while having enough military power to not die, was probably the best approach you can take, and it honestly does make the rest of the game a lot easier. If you can get to farms and lots of houses and a fully upgraded castle and market, it lets you build the strongest walls in the game. You can stack a ton of catapults on your defenses and just do area damage to the hordes of enemies. Like, if you want to try out this game for yourself, that's my advice. By the time we really started building our ships, the game was already annoying us about how we should really be making more progress on the boats by now. The waves are only going to get stronger from here. And so I started Noah's Arking a bunch of troops onto the boats. The other thing is, once you have them on the boats, you can take them off, but you also don't want to lose them. So once I had my troops on the boats, I sort of just left them there. So it's like you're actively making your military weaker as you're completing the objective. So you basically need to wait until you have all of your troops ready to go for it. Also, these catapults are so good. I love catapults in this game. Look at these doofuses just getting catapulted over and over again. The problem is that there's no ending. So you'll just have to fight off waves and waves of enemies if you don't finish your objectives quickly enough. And the size of this wave was really worrying. Enemies poured in from every direction. They brought in catapults of their own to siege down my defenses. They had thousands of knights and soldiers, toe to toe, ready to batter down my fortified defenses. Our defenses buckled, reeling at the weight of their massive assault. Was I about to be death swarmed again? It all came down to 4 footmen trying to make it onto a boat. Trying to make it onto their boat in time. Why are they walking so slowly? Okay, thank you. Oh my god, go. They're literally skipping. Why are they prancing to their boats like that? As if we're not about to die. Okay, we actually did it. That was actually... Oh, we actually did it. That was actually pretty intense. And we would live to see another day, sailing off to another continent, and definitely not immediately dying to the natives on another continent or anything. Not at all. So that's where I'm leaving. Diplomacy is not an option for now. And thank you to them for sponsoring me to check it out. A good vibe, peasants.